So, like the Grand Admiral Thrawn conversation, Sabine's backstory is pretty intense. You know The Mandalorian, right? You've seen most of the Mandalorian episodes with the Darksaber. Do you know that Sabine's backstory is loaded with the Darksaber?
I do know that. I don't know all the specifics, but I do know that that it's there. Yes.
So let me just say this: like Grand Admiral Thrawn, there's a ton of missed opportunity to develop Sabine. Instead of this stupid rebellious teenager crap that they're doing, give us some clue where she's coming from in her ties with the Darksaber, the Mandalorian culture, her relationship with Ahsoka, her experience with the Force. I'm writing book 2 of a novel right now. So I'm in chapter 5, which I'm very excited about because I'm finally away from the Hero's Labyrinth and writing fiction. But I have to write the book as though you've never read it. So it has to be able to stand on its own. And as such, I have to design scenes in which the Theodora and other characters are moving the plot forward in book 2. Clearly, establish the conflict, move it forward, establish the tension while having clues come up organically. It shouldn't be, hey, Theodora, remember when that terrible thing happened to you? Thanks. You can't have it forced in there. It has to be very natural. And I'm very conscious of this. So I have found very natural, organic moments where clues about her backstory come into the story. And I'm doing this very seriously. It helps new readers understand more about her right now in this story, which maybe this is their first one. Let's say it's a book reviewer. They might not have read book 1. They're going to have to understand this right now. So I have to give them clues on what's going on. Secondly, anyone who's read book 1 and is coming into book 2 is going to want refreshers. Because if you understand the totality of the story, every scene makes more sense and is more interesting and compelling. Why would Ahsoka avoid doing all of this with all of their pre-existing characters? They're not giving us much backstory at all with Ahsoka?
I don't know, because I don't understand. Like someone who's not deeply versed in all this lore, I don't understand what Ahsoka's and Sabine's relationship was.
So let me explain. Nobody knows who Ahsoka is. You and I have seen the Clone Wars. I try to think of my mom, and everyone who knows me knows about the Clone Wars. You know what I would have done? Oh my God, you should have put me in charge of this. First off, I would have started with the attack from Grand Admiral Thrawn on a New Republic shipyard. Secondly, I would have had a live-action flashback showing Ahsoka Tano as Rosario Dawson and Hayden Christensen as Anakin in a moment of the Clone Wars flashback with the Separatists and the Republic. Have some scenario there where you understand that she was the Padawan of Anakin. I don't even know if I think they just now mentioned that.
You're right. You might not. I do know that because I had seen it, even though I didn't finish it. But you might not even know that. You could completely not know that.
But that's what I'm saying is the normies probably don't know that. Secondly, why pass on the opportunity? Why pass on the opportunity to put Hayden Christensen into a scene with Ahsoka Tano for a live-action Clone Wars sequence? You have Tamura Morrison. You could put him as Captain Rex. You could put all those characters in there effortlessly and have some sort of a flashback to show Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker leading a battalion of clones up, advancing on a Separatist position. Have them have some quick banter back and forth. Have her, yes, master, there's a relationship, and him give her some clue about the Force. And then come back to the beginning where she's meditating. She's remembering all this, and now her life is different. The Clone War is over. The Republic is here now. And there's a disturbance in the Force. Grand Admiral Thrawn just attacked, voices cried out in terror on the shipyard, whatever. I don't know. That's how I would have opened it. I would have opened it where we understand who Ahsoka is, because this is her story, not Sabine's. And I would have started with conflict. I would have given us, and I would have definitely given the fans a beautiful treat of showing Hayden Christensen reprising a very heroic role of Anakin with Rosario Dawson as his and Ahsoka as his Padawan.
Showing Anakin as heroic is so important. You've talked about that. That happened in the Clone Wars. It didn't happen in the movies. And
it didn't.
And it should have. So you don't need Anakin as a 6-year-old kid or an 8-year-old kid or whatever that is. You don't need that. You don't need that at all. In order to tell the story of the fall and the corruption arc and stuff like that, which Brianna and I talk about all the time, you really have to start with him as the ultimate hero. And you never got to see, as far as the movie goes, Anakin as the ultimate good guy. And you needed to see that.
Totally agree. His portrayal in certain scenes in the Clone Wars, the animated portrayal of Anakin Skywalker is superior in a lot of ways to the portrayal of him in the prequels. He has moments where he teaches Ahsoka things. There are times where his mentor style is really good. Anyway, I'm just saying, show us, give us this great opening to Ahsoka. I think if you would have tied it in like that, you would have had a 10 out of 10 episode. Everyone would have been on board. Then you could slow it down to that. I wouldn't have slowed it down as much as they did, but you could slow it down afterward. Now that people are hooked, now they're interested in seeing what Ahsoka's, what Anakin's Padawan is going to do. So anyway, I will say, just to end on some positive things, episode 3 was the best of the 3 episodes by, I would say, a noticeable amount. I would give episodes 1 and 2 like 3s and 3s, maybe. I mean,
3s.
Well, like a 3 and a 3, like out of 10. I thought they were very poorly done. They were poorly written. The dialogue was bad. The acting was bad. I would have given episode 3 more of like a 6. So twice as good as those first episodes. Watchable, not perfect, but certainly a step in the right direction and some evidence that they could course correct.